And welcome tonight to the Truth Guy podcast. We are live once again, coming to you. Two more nights in season two left. Tonight, tomorrow night. Don't forget, we're going to have Susie Corey on board right here at the Truth Guy podcast at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So looking forward to her being here, bringing us our first Christmas special. It's not just going to be music. We're going to interview her. We're going to learn some things about Susie, and her and Jeff are going to bring us some amazing Christmas music, and we're so looking forward to it. And but tonight we're going to get along with. We're going to just continue on with our stop letting your fears dictate your outcome. We're going to share about three more things with you, and I hope that you listened last night. I hope that everything I said last night really touched home. And I had a couple of calls after it was over. Said, "Kerry, you okay? You was a little emotional tonight." It is emotional being an entrepreneur because we go through such a roller coaster, right? I mean, we go through so many things. And but we're going to get started. Be right back. How about a little intro?
Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs from all over the world, please make welcome the Truth Guy, Mr. Home-Based Business himself. The man of the hour, everyone's favorite, Kerry Miller.
And it's good to have you here with us tonight, man. We've had a wonderful week. What a great season two we've had, and we're going to start back with season three on January the 30th. Doing some booking work right now. We want to continue on with our entrepreneur spotlight, bringing some amazing minds to you. I had a great friend said, "Man, what a bunch of nuggets that your entrepreneur spotlights bring, and a new perspective. And you're not just listening to me; you're listening to others that bring a different perspective and a way that you should be doing things, and the way that you market and some new ideas, fresh ideas. It's not just about all of what I do. It's about what we all do collectively as a group of entrepreneurs to create success in the niches, in the arenas that we're in, everywhere from motivation to marketing to web design to app design, all those things. And so, we really have to look at that, and we really need to expose ourselves. I talk about education all the time, and how important educate. I don't mean going and sitting in Harvard Business School or some college somewhere. I'm talking about self-educating, keeping your mind fresh, keeping your ideas rolling, reading. Don't just listen, read. I mean, stimulate your brain. Stimulating your brain with video, and stimulating your brain reading words, and stimulating your brain going and listening to people live. It's all different. It all touches a different part of what's up in here. And trust me, I'm no brain expert, but I know that for me, what I get out of reading something, and I read all the time, and I tell you why I read all the time, because it's a lost art. I'll never forget, I was at Jack in the Box over by the airport. I was getting ready to fly out to somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but it was when I was out touring before all this COVID stuff started, and I was out speaking on live engagements, and I was sitting at a Jack in the Box, and I ordered me something before I got on the plane because I was hungry and I needed to feed myself, and but there was a man reading the newspaper, and I noticed that he didn't have a phone with him. And I walked over to him and said, I said, "This is something you don't see very often, is someone sitting in an environment like this reading a newspaper." He said, he said, "I've never stopped." He said, "I've read my whole life." He said, "I love reading books." And he said, "When I come in and I pick up the newspaper, I leave my phone in the car so that it doesn't distract me." He said, "I think it's so important that we stimulate our minds." And we started talking about that. And I've never forgot that, but I've always been the same way. When you watch the news, you can watch the video. The transcript is what you see below it. But I like to read the transcript, and I think I get more out of it. And I like to educate myself. And I think it's important that you educate yourself, that you watch the podcast, that you listen to the podcast, that you read the post and the things, and not just mine, but others. And that will help you get to where you're going and do the things that you are going to do to help you be successful. So tonight we're going to continue on with stop letting fear dictate your outcome. And, last night we talked about, we have to adjust and we have to make those adjustments in our life. And we have to know that the bad things are going to come and the good things are going to come out of it. But we have to make sure that we make the adjustments to be successful during periods of uncertainty. The greatest period of uncertainty. Excuse me. Grab a quick drink. That's what happens when you go live and you can't edit it out. But these periods of uncertainty are like crazy, right? I mean, things are happening that we just didn't realize would ever happen. And it threw us a curveball. We've been getting the fastball, and eventually learned to hit it, and we learned to knock it out of the park. And then the fastball, we're like, shoot, man, I can handle the fastballs. Then a slow ball comes up, and we're swinging too soon. And next thing you know, we say we figure that out. So we got the fastball and the slow ball, and so shoot, there's nothing to this. All I got to do is continue to do the things that I've always done to be successful. And if I will do that, then guess what? Everything's a breeze, because I can overcome those obstacles. And then in February, when COVID started getting out of the news, and then in March, when it was, just bam, here it is, and they start shutting everything down, businesses start shutting down, we got the curveball. And the curveball came hard. I mean, it was one of those major league curveballs, where, wow, I cannot hit this. And what happened is we weren't in position to do what we had to do to adjust, to step up to the plate and make things happen, to hit the curveball just like we were hitting the fastball and the slow ball. So how do you make the adjustment during a period like this? First off, the first thing you have to do is you have to squelch your fears. It's still going to be there. Listen to what I'm saying to you. The fears aren't going to go away, but it's how you adjust to those fears, and it's how you accept those fears is what is going to allow you to get where you want to go. I have fears every single day. I watch the business news and I watch the regular news. I filter out all the crap, but I want to know what's going on economically in this country. And I told you before that I read. You see, part of your educational process is knowing what the economy is doing, knowing what effects the markets rising and lowering are doing to your business. You see, that creates fear. Don't think about that, do you? I mean, how many of you ever get up in the morning and say, wow, the stock market tanked the last 3 days? What does that do? That creates fear in the marketplace. When the marketplace is afraid, then guess what happens? But, we don't think about that stuff. We just continue going. We say, oh, wow, there's been a little lull in business in the past couple of days, but it comes back. But when the hard curveball comes, we're not prepared for that because it lasts more than 2 or 3 days. You see what happens in the markets? The markets adjust. The markets adjust for the news. I used to trade the markets. When the farm report would come out and when unemployment would come out and when the weather reports would come out and what was happening overseas, I watched all of that stuff to know how it's going to affect the market. Now, I played futures, okay? And so I had to know. And even though the news was late, fortunately, with 24-hour news cycle, sometimes if you could see things changing, you knew that you had to adjust. So maybe you had to stay up during the middle of the night to catch that 24-hour news cycle. You see, you have to make adjustments. It doesn't matter what it is. And when you make those adjustments, you have to carry through with it. So what comes first? What is the first adjustment you have to make? You have to settle down. You have to slow down. You have to say, wait a minute. Things are changing and they're changing fast. Let me reset. Okay, let me reset. Let me take my time right now and reset and figure out if this thing is long term, because that's the way you have to think. You can't think 1 or 2 weeks. What is going to happen if this goes 3, 6, 9 months? And guess what? Here we are in our ninth month, 10th month. So you have to think that far ahead about your business. Our businesses aren't just today, but unfortunately, we run our businesses like it's happening right now. We don't think about tomorrow. Our margins are small. We don't even think about our margins. I was talking to a fellow the other day, and we're doing some work with him with a mobile app for his restaurant. And I always ask these are the questions I always ask, because I grew up in the restaurant industry and I understand margins in restaurants are extremely tight and you have to know. And so I started asking, what's your cost? It's somewhere. What do you mean somewhere? It's somewhere around this or that. No, you can't know it's somewhere. You have to know exactly what it is, because if you're losing money on everything you're doing and you're not making money, you're going broke. If your income and your outgo is the same thing, you're going broke. So don't tell me it's somewhere. You've got to know exactly. And, I'm very, 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 I won't say stern, but I'm very serious when I start talking about margins and return and cost. I'm very, very serious about that, because if somebody cannot answer those questions at that moment, I can't just come in there and help them, because we have to start. See, we have to reset. We have to start over. Where do we make the adjustment? We've got to know cost right off the bat. So if you go into a period like this where you're fighting and you're trying to dig every single penny out and you don't even know your cost, you don't even know where to start, you don't know where your beginning is and what your end is, you don't know what your margins have to be, you don't know if you're making money or not. I've asked people, hey, what is your overhead? It depends. No, it doesn't depend. There is no dependiture. Okay, there's expenditures and income. So it doesn't depend on anything. You have an overhead. Now, maybe you don't have 6 people working. You've only got 3 people working because you were unable to fulfill, your employment obligations and do the things that you had to do to be staffed up, as they say. So you go into that, and here you are. You don't have the people. So you say, oh, well, wow, man, we made an extra $1,000 this month. No, you didn't. You were understaffed. That is still an expenditure that has to be there that you have to plan for, because when you do become staffed, guess what you're doing? All the money that should have been going towards staff, you blew. So you have to make the adjustment. You have to say, oh, okay, wait a minute. This is my bottom line right here. This is where I got to start. This is my overhead. It's kind of like, I want you to do this. If you're sitting there right now, I want you to physically look at the floor, and I want you to physically look at the ceiling. Stop what you're doing, everything you're doing. Physically look at the floor and physically look at the ceiling. Now, everything in between, okay, in that empty space, something goes there. I want you to turn around, and I want you to look at your living room. Things start taking up space, okay? Things start taking up space. And your business is the same way. That couch cost money. Did you budget for that? Or did you just go out there and throw money away and buy you a new couch? That 50-inch TV cost money. Was that budgeted, or did you? Now do you see what I'm saying? Business is the same way. You have to understand that you have expenditures, and there is a ceiling and a floor. All right. You start off at 0 and you start working your way up. Everything above that ceiling, that big wide open space, that's where you're going to start making money, because there's things all in between there that are going to suck the cash out of your business. And that's just the way it goes. We're going to take a quick break so I can take a quick drink, because I'm about to choke absolutely to death. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Thank you for being a part of the Truth Guy broadcast. We look forward to seeing you Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time as Kerry shares his insight in helping you build your dream and success. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Kerry Miller TV. And of course, listen to the Truth Guy podcast on the go at thetruthguypodcast.com. And now welcome back your host, Mr. Home-Based Business himself, the Truth Guy, Kerry Miller.
And do not forget that Susie Corey is going to be with us tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Look so forward to her being here. She's going to be bringing her and Jeff, her accompanist, is going to be bringing us some beautiful Christmas music. Going to try to get her to do one of hers or two. But I think you're going to be extremely happy. And we're so excited to have her come on the show with us tomorrow night with her beautiful music. And we're going to get to learn a little bit about Susie. That's one thing I love to do is, talk to our guests and get some information from them so that we can learn about them. There's no greater way to enjoy listening to someone or being around someone than learning about them. And so we're going to do that. And we're going to have an opportunity to learn about Susie tomorrow night and listen to her music and listen to her story. She's got a great story of coming over to Canada and living in North America and playing her music and learning music. But let's get back to where we were at. All right. That's tomorrow night. Let's get back into tonight. So the first thing you have to make the adjustments, and then you have to know what comes first. Are you going to adjust down? Are you going to adjust up? Are you going to make the right adjustments? Do you even know what the adjustments are? Do you know what your profit margins are? Do you know what a margin even is? Do you know what your costs are? Do you know what your expenditures are? You have to know that. So when you make the adjustment, when a curveball hits, and it's not the same thing that you were doing 6 months ago, things are going to change, and you have to start looking in the future, and you have to sit down and you say, okay, this month, this is what we expect. Next month, this is what we expect. Okay, they're going to shut us down. How do we continue to make money during a shutdown? What do we have to do? I've been preaching to people, you have to be online. You need to be mobile. You have to be able to get out there and reach out to your customers. Your customers have to come to you. They're going to come to you in a different way. What do you have to do? Okay, now, this is the biggie. And I always leave the biggie for last. This is the biggie. Your attitude has to change. I get so sick of watching social media and all the negativity. And I know people that are in there, and I know they're business owners, and I watch them get caught up in it. And all the negativity that starts getting spewed, and you're a part of that negativity, and you're talking about how the sky is falling, how everything sucks, nothing's good anymore, everything's going to pot, everything, the old Chicken Little thing. Listen, if you're in business and you get involved in that, you are the dumbest person I know. And I know that's hard. You say, God, Kerry, I can't believe you just said you are. And the reason you are is because you are a leader in the community. You are a business owner in the community. You're not making adjustments. You're jumping on the bandwagon. If you're jumping on the bandwagon while your building is burning, and you're just going to keep driving away and your building is going to continue burning. Be the positive role model. Change your attitude. I used to love Ozig. He called it stinking thinking. If you've got stinking thinking, then you need to do something about it, because you're absolutely right. I use the word failure all the time, and people always jump on me. Gosh, Kerry, I can't believe you talk about failure. Failure's real. It happens. If you're not willing to make an adjustment, if you got stinking thinking and you're jumping on the bandwagon with all the naysayers and all the people that are watching the building burn and there ain't throwing no water on it, guess what? You're no different than they are. You're not a leader in a good sense. You're a leader in a bad sense, because they're going to listen to you. Oh, well, there's no use going down to that guy's place. He keeps talking about how everything's going to close up. He's going belly up. They ain't no use just going there. We'll go take our money to somewhere where somebody's trying to make it happen, where people are doing everything it takes to make it happen. Why do we want to go there? I mean, his building's falling in, I mean, everything's cracking. He don't have but one employee. He's done absolutely nothing. I don't even know if he's still open anymore. That's what happens when you jump on the bandwagon. You got to get off that. If you're not mature enough to stay away from that, and I don't care what is happening around you, I don't care if every business in the strip mall that you're in is shut down. You be the leader that stays open. You be the one that makes the adjustments with the correct attitude to make things happen. You will either stand or you will fall. But if you cut the tree down yourself and watch it tumble, you have nobody to blame but yourself. So get off the bandwagon. Quit posting crap. I understand we all get political. There's no use being political. People don't care about that. They care if they walk into your business and you have the products that they want. They don't care if you're a Democrat. They don't care if you're a Republican. They don't care which side of the fence you sit on. And the only way they know that is if you're on the social media running your mouth all the time. Nobody cares. I want to walk into your place of business and get a good meal. I want to walk into your place of business and buy some blue jeans or a sweater or whatever it is. Shut it. Run your business and quit running your mouth. And I promise you, you will do a lot better. Stop the stinking thinking. Change your attitude and move forward. And I will guarantee you, I say this all the time, some will, some won't. So what next? I mean, that's just the way it is. You can't change everybody, but if you can change one person, that starts the ball rolling and you can change the world. I believe that. But it takes somebody telling you the truth to get the ball rolling. And I'm telling you the truth because this is the way business works. It's just the way it is. Sit back and continue the path you're on, or get on the path that's going to make you successful. I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow night. Come on out and work with us. I mean, not work with us. Come out and support Susie Corey as she comes out for our Christmas special. Our last show of the season until January the 30th is when we'll be back. This is our last spotlight of the year. Unfortunately, we're going to have a Christmas special, which I am so excited about. I'm very excited to have her with us. So come on back with us tomorrow night. My name is Kerry Miller. I am the Truth Guy, and I'm going to have a good friend, Frankie, take us out of here.
Thank you for being a part of the Truth Guy broadcast. We look forward to seeing you Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time as Kerry shares his insight in helping you build your dream and success. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Kerry Miller TV. And of course, listen to the Truth Guy podcast on the go at thetruthguypodcast.com. And now welcome back your host, Mr. Holm.